Well, if you're like Brian and Randy, you just can't get enough of the Cybertruck information. It's just, I've watched two 20-minute, two 40-minute videos put out by YouTubers already. I have read every article that I can find. I have watched the program. I've been on X for nonstop for 24 hours. And yet there's just always seemed to be more. Brian, what about you? Are you sucking up the information on Cybertruck?
Yeah. I think I may have written about 8 articles on Cybertruck yesterday.
Where would you have put those?
On my website, nextbigfuture.com.
Next Big Future. You mean the biggest and the most visited science blog in the known universe?
Yes, that's the one.
So if you haven't gone to nextbigfuture.com, you need to go to nextbigfuture.com, because that's where you're going to get all this updated science stuff like we do on this channel, like way ahead of the rest of the world. Okay, Brian, what we want to do in this next few minutes is I want to go through, I told the story the other day, Brian, but I'm sure you didn't hear it yet, is that I only have purchased one car as a reason out of, I don't know, the 30, 40 cars I've purchased in my lifetime, where I was driving by the dealership, knew that I was slightly interested in this brand new concept car, drove into the dealership and bought it on site. And that was the first Acura. I probably had a low VIN number. I mean, I bought it like in the first few months that it was out there. And it just had all this cool stuff on it. I mean, stuff like they put the word water on the cap, on the water part, so that you know that was water. And it said oil over here on the oil one. And it was stuff that it was like, why didn't they think of these things before? But of course, there was a lot more complex and interesting features and benefits. But yeah, I was an Acura fan immediately because they just changed the world with that car. Man, that Acura looks like last year's lunch compared to the changes that were made on this Cybertruck. People just don't get it. The news that's out so far on the Cybertruck doesn't come close to talking about the amazing list of features and benefits that this truck has that no other truck has ever had. So I'm going to let you go first. What are the things that really knock your eyeballs out?
So the outpulling the F-350, that was a big deal, because F-250, F-350 are the things above the F-150, which are more the work truck things. And so being able to dominate the market, and those vehicles sell for like $120,000, $150,000 each. So being able to capture that market, to be able to pull more load and then put in the battery if you want to get the extra range,
right?
And which would add the other 4680 improve, you'll do even better with that. But that ensures that they have a very large commercial market, and there are hundreds of thousands of sales a year in that segment where they're doing it. Plus, the other thing was the drag racing times, where 2.6 seconds, 0 to 60, and it beat a 911, towing a 911, right? Which back when people would talk about non-electric cars, ICE cars, it would be like, oh, I got the Bugatti, $1 million car, and it goes 0 to 60 in whatever 2 seconds, like that. And I would or buy this the Porsche or the Ferrari and stuff like that. It was all about the acceleration. And now you're going to get that kind of world-beating acceleration from a large truck, right? So and that
1,000-pound truck,
right. And so then that means that for any future vehicle that Tesla makes, they can decide how much world-beating towing I give you, how much world-beating acceleration I give you, and it outclasses gas cars in that area. The technological aspects of it, one would be 4680, which Sandy Monroe said was as close to a dry process, as close to a solid state battery as any other battery that he's seen, right? So that is a huge deal. And then the 48 volt low power system, 800 volt high power system is something else, which is again worldly, and then reducing the amount of wiring. So the technological achievements that are in there that translate to all future vehicles where they keep improving, right? I think those are the main things that stuck out for me.
Okay. One of the ones that stuck out for me and that I haven't seen many people talking about at all, and I think it's, again, in terms of a work truck, I think it was important to make the statement. Everybody's wondering, okay, how much can it hold? How much weight can it carry? Not so much how much can it tow, because towing is maybe something that you don't do every day or even every month, unless you have a boat or you have some specific thing that you use it for. But carrying a load, if you're a contractor or if you're a farmer or if you're something, you're carrying a load all the time. So how much load can it carry? And, everybody wants to do that in terms of pounds. I thought Elon's method was a lot better. If you can get it into the payload space, if you can get it into the bed, if it fits, you can carry it. I thought that was great. So I think they were showing like sheet metal that they were putting in there, stacking up, which doesn't get much denser than sheet metal. I was thinking maybe ball bearings might be denser than sheet metal, but what can you put in there? I also thought, of course, all the turning radius stuff. People don't think that much about that, but if you're in the truck all day, and especially if you're in situations, if you're in a farm, if you're in construction sites and whatnot, this turning radius and the steer by wire and the ability of it to crab walk and all this kind of stuff, it would seem to me those would be all things I don't know. I don't drive a truck in a construction site, but it seems to be those would be really good things to have.
Yeah, I've rented trucks, like the U-Haul or other vehicles like that, even large ones, like 18-foot, 20-footers, and the maneuverability of those big vehicles is a big thing. You're always thinking about, like how can I, give it a lot of room, like block off part of the road so I can back up and do stuff. So having something that's got more maneuverability, tighter turn radius than a Model S means that all those extra considerations of I'm driving a truck versus I'm driving a maneuverable car, right? I'm backing up a truck instead of backing up a book. It's like the differences, even I drove a Suburban, and it's like that extra 2 feet or a few feet on the vehicle, you don't have a sense of how big the vehicle is and having to take the extra care to not hit something, right? That, okay, I rented the Suburban and I need to back it up in a parking lot, and I could hit the guys behind me because I don't anticipate having that extra 3 feet. Here, you'll have the rear view cameras constantly on to show you, in high definition, as opposed to the backup cameras on, some of my other vehicles, which is, low resolution. I can't really tell what's going on. I got a few, extra graphics, red, green kind of showing what's going to happen. So this makes being able to drive that vehicle far better. And they also have software controlled suspension. Right. I'm not sure if you've seen that. So low, medium, high, adjusting that, and then firmness, softness, all software control. So all these things of like, if I'm going over, okay, I got to, going off-roading, stuff like that, you can like raise to a high level and get over the log and do stuff, versus, okay, I can't get out because the log is 8 inches tall.
Yeah, in fact, I think I saw, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think one of the videos I was watching said that suspension is maybe not AI controlled, but at least has some kind of logarithmic capability to where it is going to be adjusting itself without you doing anything. As it's in these off-road situations and in difficult situations, it's going to be adjusting itself in terms of height, as well as in terms of the way that it handles getting through or over or et cetera. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, there's a lot of automatic adjustments that is making to give you a better ride. It's just like we're not giving you the full robotaxi self-driving thing, but we're making everything smoother, better, more comfortable with obvious, okay, well, we don't want this because this makes it uncomfortable. Let's just fix it. Like I'm have to react to it. So the benefits of partial automation and all these features results in game-changing better ride the capabilities.
And they also said that the what do you call it? The amount of
Clearance.
Not clearance. The clearance is 17, goes down to 5 if you want to be able to board easily, which is good for grandma, even good for mom and little kids. That's really cool that it can get down to where people can get in easily. But that kind of a range on the hydraulics of 12 inches of carry, that's huge. That's a massive amount of range on that.
Yeah.
And speaking of comfort, so now we'll talk about a few more of these. What do you want to call it? Work truck benefits, but a lot of folks are not going to ever use it as a work truck, and those that are going to use it as a work truck are going to want to drive it around town and take it on vacation too. So this might be, I think there's a good chance it's going to be the most luxurious truck on the market also. And that wasn't even on the list. It wasn't like, more utility than a work truck and faster than a sports car. I think maybe it should have said more luxurious than a luxury car. Massive amounts of speakers,
right?
Huge amount of headspace, huge amount of rear room for the passenger in the back, rear view. A screen in the back for the kids, and on and on and on. Heated seats, and what do you think?
Yeah, like I remember when the Model X came out, my mother, really loved the fact that the seats were the best. And so, in terms of like, going to a luxury vehicle, like, the choice between that versus the Acura versus the Lexus, it, comfort seat-wise, it was, highly competitive with that. I think although I haven't sat in the Cybertruck yet, I think that they're bringing, seat luxury technology from the Highland, from the S and X to a larger size form factor.
Yeah, I mean, so you're basically, when you're in the cab, it's going to be almost like you're in a Model S. Now, I did see one of the videos today, and there is still, these tires create a lot of noise. Now, I don't know if there'll be tires you can get that are not as off-road worthy, that might make less noise, where you're like, I'm never going to go off-road, so please give me these more highway type of tires. I'm in the bicycle business, and that's what you do all the time. You pick your tires based on the kind of riding you're going to do. So I don't know if that's going to be true, but this was the beast mode vehicle that they were showing on the YouTube video. And he said, you got some road noise on the highway from these massive tires, but other than that, it's a really, really quiet cabin.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, again, there's a lot of customization that can occur. There's the various wrap things and the color, other things, and things like noise, tires, a lot of aftermarket or options that can be possible.
Yeah, so they say that a lawyer should never ask a question he doesn't know the answer to, and maybe you don't know the answer either. But my wife was asking, they're charging $6,500 for that wrap. Do you think that there's going to be local wrap folks that are going to do it for a lot less than $6,500? Because wrapping a car is only about $2,500.
That I'm not familiar with that market, no. But I would anticipate, yes, that as it becomes, that people would price it competitively based on how much it cost them to do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Because the $6,500 just seemed high to me. We might have to pay it because my wife definitely wants the matte black. So let's see. The clock spring tailgate. Is that new? I don't know. I don't know enough about trucks. Do you know?
I'm unfamiliar with that concept.
Okay, all right, okay. So roll under instead of roll up tonneau cover. And you can stand on this. If you're under 300 pounds, you can stand on the tonneau cover.
Right, right.
So this is something you don't have to go out and pay extra for. No door handles at all.
Right. Which I saw Marquez Brown, he's concerned that in the really cold areas, and I grew up in Canada, that you can get a lot of ice on a vehicle, and then you have to get the ice off. In this case, you'd have to get the ice off in order to get to the button to push and open the door. The response that I have to Marquez Brownlee about that concern is that when it gets cold enough, you can't open the car door of a regular car either. So it's not like this is a unique thing. It's a question of like, how much of it more of a problem is it for the potential Tesla and the Cybertruck versus the other thing? Like, I've been in there where, okay, I can't open the window, I can't open the door, everything's iced up. I got ice over the entire vehicle. I have to chip through the ice to start doing stuff. I need to get hot water from inside the house to pour it into the locking mechanism and do stuff. So the solution is a garage.
It's a garage. Well,
and a block heater. So that's the solution to that. If you can fit inside your garage, and then and also like a block heater where if you have electric energy, you can do stuff to warm it up. Yeah. So and particularly you have the plug on your Cybertruck. If you can get the back open, can plug into it, and then you can get your hair dryer and do other things to get the heat off. Yeah. So
speaking of garages, we were very concerned when we placed our order whether it was going to fit in the garage, and the original version was I think about 6 inches longer, and it turns out that the F-140s, 150s rather, I think those are about 6 inches longer. So this particular version fit. I'm in a townhouse, and it'll fit our garage just fine. I thought that was, I think that's a benefit. They shortened it up a little bit. It did change the overall design a little bit, maybe not quite as cool, shorter, a little more snubby, but getting in the garage is important. I live in a community where you're not allowed to park your car outside,
right?
Even though a stainless steel car would be, okay to park outside. But yeah, so I thought that was a really good feature. These are things that nobody's talking about. Let's see. Of course, it has bioweapon defense mode. That's not new. They've been offering that for a while. This will have a permanent rear view mirror on your screen. Right. So I haven't been able to get used to looking at my side view mirror yet on my screen. My wife has, she drives it every day, so she doesn't ever look at her side view mirror anymore. She's got that on her screen. But the tonneau cover is going to block the rear window, so you have to have the camera providing you this rear view. I think that's a better idea, isn't it?
I think that for a lot of vehicles, the rear view mirror, the side mirrors are highly compromised, and it's I think more commonplace that you can't depend on the mirrors. So having the better backup stuff is, I think, a better way to go.
Yeah. So long term, this should be on all vehicles. Every vehicle should have this rear view mirror that is on your screen, and you just get, as was pointed out in a video that we both watched, you're going to get used to that. You're going to get used to looking down just after a little bit of a while. So on that video also, he talked about the getting used to this new driving, this
drive-by-wire, and also the half turned instead of a full turn in order to get stuff. Yeah, that's and also I think also that you can't see the front of the vehicle, that there's some adjustment you need to make in order to get used to driving it. But I think it's one of those things where once you make the adjustment, then it'll be far better.
there are lots of vehicles that you can't see in the front of. I've driven everything from Cadillac sedan DeVille's to, you know, little Mazda station wagons. Some vehicles just aren't set up to where you can see past the hood. You're looking, you know, it's straight off the hood and you can't see anything in front of you. So this is not new.
Yeah, and making adjustments to drive vehicle, like first time driving a Suburban or truck or something like that, you know, you have to adjust. Okay, it's bigger. I'm not as used to it. I make adjustments.
Right. Let's see. I have a list here from I want to give him credit. R. Bremer, who's a regular contributor to my email. He sends me lots and lots of very long emails. A lot of these. He sent me a very long list of things that were very, very special. Oh, I know a big one. The fact that the wiring is already preset for the light bar on the top and for a winch in the back. I think truckers are going to be thrilled with that idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty expensive fix to run wiring up to your light bar or run it all the way back to the winch.
I think also they have certain hitches at the front and also in the back. So I know that like for my Acura MDX, that they didn't give you the tow hitch you know, included. You had to like buy it as a separate thing. That so having all these things built into the steel of the vehicle is something that, you know, might have been a, you know, $150, $250, $300 extra that including I got in the front and the back, you know, all these extra attachment things.
So here's one. I didn't know this. This is new to me. It has a roll-out glove box.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a very good idea to me. I haven't seen it work yet, but you know, your glove box, you're normally, certainly as the driver, it's like, oh my gosh, how can I even get to it? But apparently you open this up and it rolls out. That sounds very cool.
I think it's on the Marquez Brownlee.
Oh, it was. I didn't see it. Okay.
I think in the section, it flashes by pretty quick where you just like opened it like that. But it did show that action. Yeah. One of the big one in which we, you know, didn't talk about in terms of the big picture thing is the fact that it does charge to the grid. You can charge your house with it at about like 11 kilowatts per hour or something like that. And you can also charge other vehicles so that you can plug in. And so if your other car, your Model Y, runs out of power, you can, you know, put in a 240 volt thing and then plug up and charge it. So the range anxiety thing that people have can go away because it's like just like a tow truck can come give you a jump on your vehicle.
Right.
Now it'd be very common for this to become the tow vehicle and then be able to charge. You know, here's 15 miles worth of power in, you know, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So the issue, so it would be a great service tow truck vehicle. So because it can help a lot of other cars. And also the whole energy selling thing is like with 123 kilowatt hours, it's like 9 Powerwalls, 9 Powerwalls, and now you can charge that to the home, virtual power plant, all that kind of stuff.
So now my understanding from someplace, I can't remember where, is that it will not automatically, you're going to have an inverter. You'd have to, if you want to use it for your house, which it seems to me would be a really good idea. I mean, why not? You know, you would need to go get an inverter because Tesla, for some reason, doesn't necessarily want you to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're not making it easy on you.
It's just an extra thing, you know. You have to hit that $79.9 price target, you know.
That's
what
right.
Are you gonna...
Right. Yes, of course. So, and what did you think about the pricing? I mean, I've seen people making comparisons, saying, "Hey, it's right in line with ICE trucks."
Yeah, it's right in line, and you know, I think the Ford F-150 Lightning can be a bit cheaper on stuff, but it's like if you're just comparing the raw range, blah, blah, blah thing. But it's like you're getting a lot more truck with the Cybertruck,
Lot.
So, you have to, and then, I do expect the prices to come down, but it's like, okay, I get the production up in a year, and then, I make the better 4680 batteries, and then, I'll start shrinking my margin at that point. So, it's not, instantly coming out with a $35,000 Model 3, went up to $40,000-$50,000 and that comes back down, right? So it'll happen, but not for the first people to buy it.
Yeah, so I had somebody on X today was grieving the fact that they have a low number. They got in really early, but now this was going to be priced out of their range. And I said, well, if you can get the loan, or get the lease, if you can qualify, go for it and put it on Turo. You're going to be able to get at least $150 a day for this vehicle, maybe more. I know you're planning to be using Turo on yours, so doesn't that seem like a good idea? You could rent it out 3 days a week and have it for 4 days a week.
Yeah. Particularly, that for the early days, like I think Gary Black may have said $2,000 a week or something like that.
Yeah, he was high.
Yeah, but still, it's something where, there'll be a lot of demand for that. I know other people who have bought Model 3s and Model Ys where they tour them out for the first year or so in order to shape up
the car.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically, I've never seen a Tesla under $100 a day. Maybe they are sometimes, but I've never seen less than $100 a day. And even if you take off the money for Turo, you're still at like $80 a day. Well, if you're in this case of this Cybertruck, I think it's going to be rented pretty full time. But let's say 20 days. Let's say just 20 days. Let's say it's 20 days at $100 a day net.
Yeah,
talking about $2,000 a month. Well, the monthly
24,000 a month. Yeah.
Monthly payment is not going to be $2,000 a month. That's
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. If you really want the truck, and if you don't, I'll take your number. If they're going to allow that, I'm not sure they will. Anything else that comes to your mind, real quick?
I think the technology, the electronics, all of that, great. It's going to be in a year or two, lead to Cybervan, other things. What Tesla will be able to. This is not the end for Tesla. There's more vehicles coming. It's going to be even better. And if you don't like this one for some reason, then people don't like the Model 3 or the Model S. You get the Model Y. Other stuff is coming, right? So yeah.
All right, Brian, thank you so much for going through the list with me. Thank you, R. Bremer, for sending me the list. And I think this is going to be a monster. It is a monster. It's going to be a monster hit. I don't think there's going to be any question of them selling all that they can possibly make. Some people are talking about maybe a 50% rate of take on the folks that put in their deposits. I think the take rate is going to be huge. I think it'll be way over 50%. So once again, thank you for being on. And we've all frozen. Everybody's frozen. Who knows for how long, but we're back. Look at that. Woo.
Yeah.
Technology. We're back. I have no idea what happened, and I have no idea where we left off. Brian, I'm just going to say thanks for being on.
Okay. Thank you.
To all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.